Such a beautiful day. It's going to be a wonderful day. It's going to be a great day to come out of the darkness and into the light. I just love the way that sounds. I just love the way that sounds. I love the way it rolls off the tongue. I like that out of the darkness and into the light. Out of the darkness and into the light. It's good to come out of the darkness and into the light. There's a lot of times when I'm trying to get myself together. There's a lot of times we have scenarios like what's going on right now. There's hurricane warnings, there's tornado warnings, the wind is real high. I don't know how much the wind is affecting this recording this morning, but the wind is kind of high. There's a tornado warning, and there's a hurricane that's in the Gulf and about to make landfall probably in about another 2 or 3 hours. Not here where I'm at, but on the other coast, on the west coast, the Gulf of Mexico. Those are natural occurrences. For some reason, the cold air, the warm air mixes, and you get the tornadoes in the weather. And we don't truly know the reason why we have hurricanes. We just know that at certain points in a season, if we experience the hurricanes, and you got the different layers of the wind, jet streams, and the different jet streams coincide with the tides and the rip tides and swells. And it's said that most hurricanes start in Africa at the same location where the slave ships used to load up the slaves to bring them to the Americas. And it takes the same route as the slave ship in Africa took. And then it goes to the east coast, or I'm trying to think of what they call it. See, there's the Atlantic Ocean, and it follows the same trade route that the trade route for the slaves ships went, and it don't last no further than the Carolinas. Isn't that something? Sometimes it'll go to the Gulf where it's at right now, and that's your areas like Houston, Mississippi, Louisiana, where there was a lot of slave trade. And then when we talk about the other coast, it's the same route where slaves were dropped off in the Bahamas, Jamaica, Dominican Republic, and from that point they were way stations to take the slaves on up into New York. And it said that a hurricane don't go past New York. It never goes to Canada, but it stops right about the same vicinity where all the slave ships used to offload the slaves. That's something. Dick Gregory had revealed that in one of his tapings about the slave route and the hurricanes, and majority of the hurricanes are named after women. As a matter of fact, meaning angry woman or something to that effect, where he was saying, I'm not repeating the information verbatim, I'm just trying to remember for this recording. I don't have much longer because the guy's going to come and cut the grass and it's starting to drizzle. We won't feel the effect of the hurricane, the full eye, we'll only feel the effect of the wind, the result of the hurricane. So So like most of us, sometimes our lives is like a hurricane. It's just a whole bunch of turbulence moving in a direction. And we try to endure that movement, that hurricane that's in us, which creates a tremendous amount of rain, tremendous amount of flooding, lives are lost, property is damaged. We were speaking in videos previously about sadness and anger and coping skills for the sadness and the anger. Every time there's a hurricane, a sadness comes over me because I lost my baby sister during Hurricane Harvey that hit Houston, Texas. I was stranded at a gas station for like 2 days. Couldn't get out of my car. I finally decided after the second day I was going to walk home. And the water was still up to my waist. And I could see cars floating down the street. And there were looters breaking into cars that were abandoned. Terrible, 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 terrible. And then the other terrible tragedy was my sister had a heart attack, and she lived in a little small town, and the trees were down, and the wiring, and the electricity, lightning, street lamps and everything was down, blocking the ambulance from coming into the community, and even the life flight helicopter couldn't land, and they didn't get to her. And so she ended up dying of the heart attack. And her boyfriend at the time, he told me, he said, all he could do was lay her on the couch and put a blanket over her. And he sat there until they were able to come. It took maybe probably a week or so with the dead body of his girlfriend, which is my sister, in his living room. And he drank real heavy that day, he told me. He said they had already had the supplies you need for a hurricane, and they had all the alcohol they wanted to drink for probably a week or a month or two, or something like that. And he ended up within that week's time span pretty much drinking all that reserve of alcohol because of the trauma of the death. That's something to really consider. When we take life for granted and we think that doing some certain types of natural disasters, I know in California it's always earthquakes, it's never tornadoes or hurricanes. But we take life for granted. We just don't know when it's our turn. Everybody gets a turn. Oh yeah, everybody gets a turn. That's one appointment you're not going to be late for. That's one appointment you're not going to miss. But it's just an appointment to transition into another level of existence. So it's a wonderful thing. It's a beautiful thing. It's a loving thing. So I cure my sadness by reflecting on the wonderful times I had growing up with my sister and the wonderful time I had with her as an adult and enjoying my nieces and nephews with her and just talking and laughing and playing music and just having fun with my sister. So when that time comes, when we're in like the hurricane seasons, as they call it, and I hear about the hurricanes that are devastating other areas and other states, and I hope that those that are in those areas, and when they tell them that they need to leave the area, that they do and find shelter and not try to stick it out I don't know why sometimes we try to stick it out. We feel like our house is made to withstand these things. It reminds me of the three little pigs and the wolf. He huffed and puffed and blew the houses down. The only house he couldn't blow down was the house made of brick. But the house made of straw, he blew that down. And the house made of wood, he blew that down. But he couldn't blow the house made of brick down. The parable is, if you're going to be stable and consider something to be secure, make sure it's solid and it's built on a solid foundation. Because if it's built on a solid foundation, it'll stand. And not only will it stand through a hurricane, not only will it stand through a tornado, but it'll stand through the test of times. Life is just so beautiful. It's a great day to be alive. It's a great day to be alive. It's also a great day to come out of the darkness and into the light. And not to spend your day being angry. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to get angry. But you got to find a solution to that anger. And with that solution, you come up with a resolution that you resolve to not get angry. There's nothing wrong with getting angry. I said it before. There's absolutely nothing wrong with getting angry or being angry. It's what you do after you're angry. It's what you do in the moment of that anger. So we're working on this week controlling our anger. Yes, we are. We're going to work on it. I know you hate it, but we're going to work on it anyway. And we're going to work on loving people because they get on our damn nerves. You them the ones you have to love. The ones who love you back. It's easy to love those guys. But what about the ones that don't love you back? Yeah, you're going to have to come out of the darkness and into the light on them. Oh, man. If we would do that, if one person would do that to another person, and then that person do it to another person. I have a song, it's an instrumental. I was always going to put lyrics to it, and I never did. But the title of the song was 25 People. And the premise was, if 25 people told 25 people, that's 50 people. And that 50 people tell 50 people. And so it continues to snowball and add up. It's kind of like the same thing that we do with the internet, the YouTube. You get one like and somebody else see it and you get another like, and next thing you know, you tell somebody and that person tells somebody, and so forth and so on. So we need to spread love, and we need to stop being so hard on other people, and we need to stop being hard on ourselves. We're our hardest critics. We don't have to be our hardest critics, but it's good to be your hardest critics, because then you can put yourself in check, and no one would have to check yourself before you wreck yourself. I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to go because it seems the guy with the lawnmower is getting closer and closer. So remember, it's good to come from out of the darkness and into the light. Spread love today. 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 Tell somebody hi. Tell somebody good morning. Tell somebody good evening. Tell somebody good afternoon. Tell somebody hi. I love you and there's nothing you can do about it. I love you. It ain't nothing you can do about it. Na 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 na. Ain't nothing you can do about it.